Welcome back. You're still watching the Usile Breakfast Show right here on Eswatini TV. Onto this now, we dive into one of Eswatini's most defining national projects, that is the Mkhondvo-Ngwavuma Water Augmentation Program, which is actually a promise of water security and economic transformation for generations to come. Now, as the Mbageni Dam rises from the earth, so, to the rise hopes of a long or nation-long waiting to unlock its agricultural potential. But really, what does this project mean for Eswatini, and what will it take to deliver it as promised without compromise? I am now joined by EWADE CEO, Dr. Samson Zitole. Very good morning to you, Mr. Zitole. How are you feeling?
Good morning, ma'am. I'm really good.
Good. Great to have you in our studios this morning. Can you please expand on the construction progress of the project, and are you confident that it will actually be delivered by the year 2028?
All right. The progress is sitting right now at 34% overall. With regards to the key milestones that we are expected to achieve so far, we're hitting them very well. We started off with the diversion weir, which we have just completed, and we have also completed the permanent camp, which took us about 124 days. All these are happening within time and within budget. We also working on the dam wall. Right now it's sitting at slightly below 50%. We are definitely confident that by 2028 we will have a dam full of water, a dam that's functional.
Diversion were so far on time, good progress. It's been described as a triumph of vision over doubt. What challenges did you and the project team, overcome to achieve this milestone ahead of the schedule?
It's without a doubt that everything you do will have challenges. What we are doing is no exception, and it's a very massive project. It has been characterized by quite a number of challenges, which could have hampered progress. The challenges, if I may name a few, we had major industrial strikes in the project. In my recollection, we've seen 4 of them going up to the courts, but we are so excited with the fact that we have a very good justice system in the country. It was able to deal with those issues, and workers were able to go back to work and continue to deliver on their mandate as workers. We've also had a shortage of a quarry, and again, the country is well structured in terms of what steps do you take when you want a license for a quarry. That application has gone through the various processes, and right now it's at the last stage. We are hopeful that we will get the quarry at the end of the day. But with the little quarry that we have on site, we have managed to achieve significantly, and progress has gone amazingly way above what we expected, despite all these challenges. And we really thank the discipline of the contractor herself, the Sakalive joint venture, first and foremost for being willing to go to negotiations with the workers they have, and taking instructions from our coordinating partners, which is actually the supervising engineer and our project coordination management. These parties have worked together so well in such a way that they have been able to manage all challenges that have come across as they do the work on site. We still strongly believe that things are now working well, the team is gelling, and still that gives us confidence that we will deliver on the job which is basically the greatest milestone of this land.
Right. Now, beyond diversion, what are some of the game-changing landmarks that have been delivered? What are some of those that are actually, currently underway, and you promise to have them delivered ahead of time?
Yes, beyond just the diversion wear, which we are quite excited that it was delivered on time and on budget. Where we are sitting right now, the diaphragm wall is 36%. I may explain a bit this one because the diaphragm wall is actually a wall underground. That blocks water from going under the wall. The wall then follows after something like 25 meters deep concrete wall on the riverbed. That one is sitting at 36%. There are tough geological conditions, but we have managed to overcome all that. The riverbed is actually characterized by a very hard rock, which is very difficult to drill and to crush. Then we have the spillway, which is going on right now. That one is slightly above 50%, and we are hopeful that with these isolated wins, we will eventually come up with the dam.
Right. The Mkhondvo-Ngwavuma water augmentation project is being implemented in phases, and we have the secondary distribution channel to ZTCS joint venture, which has actually triggered criticism from local contractors and the media, claiming that EWADE and government favor foreign companies. Perhaps you would like to respond to these.
Yes, I think as citizens, I'm also a Swazi. EWADE is a Swazi company. We are all patriotic. We all would like to see Swazi companies winning tenders with us, and we believe it's part of nation building. But most critical of all is that when the country funds a project, the country is looking at value for money. And we are there as an organization to ensure that the country gets value for money in everything it does. And for that reason, we follow very strict procurement procedures. We don't want to wind up with contractors that don't qualify to do a job, because at the end of the day, that job becomes more expensive. And it's very unfortunate that when we follow those strict procedures, then our Swazi companies tend to fall on the wayside. It's a situation that we are looking at, and we're trying our level best to study it and see what sort of solutions can we come up with so that more Swazis can be involved.
Right.
It's so unfortunate that they are beaten by things that really are not of significance. For instance, when you are tendering, you have to follow the tender instructions. Most of them fail to follow the tender instructions. When you are pricing your tender document, you have to make sure that you really price according to the market costs. But some would either underprice or overprice. And that makes it difficult. Sometimes others struggle with finding the bonds. We are also looking at that. How can we help our local companies afford the kind of bonds that we look for when doing these? Otherwise, in a nutshell, we do not favor foreigners over a Maswati.
Right. It's
just an unfortunate outcome of a strict procurement procedure. In this case of the Mpageni project, we are following strictly the financier's procurement procedures. In this case is AFDB, African Development Bank. And we are checked on that. We don't just do things willy-nilly. Whatever we do, we get a no objection for it. Our evaluation report has to go back to African Development Bank, and they should give us a no objection. That is to say, you've evaluated well, you can go ahead, or no, you flouted the procedures and therefore start all over again. It's not like we are all by ourselves. We are being checked in what we do.
Right. You've alluded to the way some of the local firms are actually getting it wrong. How do you think then we can turn this from a story of exclusion to a point whereby we actually build domestic capacity and tendering competency?
Yes, that's exactly what we're trying to do now, because the first step is to try and establish where exactly are they getting it wrong.
Right.
And we have spotted that. And what we will be doing going forward, we will definitely stage workshops where we will alert these contractors on where they are going wrong and how they can fix that. Basically, even in the evaluation reports, we do give feedback to them to say, your tender failed on this stage and this was the reason. Everybody is given that information purely for future improvements.
Right. What are some of the lessons that you think, given the evaluation outcomes, what lessons can local contractors actually take home?
Local contractors should learn to follow instructions. The tender process is a simple process. It instructs you what to do.
Yeah.
Just follow those instructions. That's point number one, very critical point. Number two, they must find experts that will help them fill the tender, and also experts that will help them price the tender.
Yes.
So they can avoid overpricing or underpricing. Because, for instance, if you underprice, we would still say probably there is value for money because you've given us a very low price. But there are things that we check. We check if you've priced all the items. If there are items that you did not price, then we want to know how are you going to finance those items, because definitely you will need funding for them. And most often than not, they fail to give us a convincing answer as to where will they get the funding. Otherwise, if they were to give us a convincing answer, we would still give them the job despite underpricing. So they also need to think of that. If they omit certain items, they should have a good reason why they omit them and how they will fund them. So basically, in a nutshell, that would be it. And also, just to add to that, they should start talking to the local financiers, the banks, and other institutions that can fund, especially the bonds. Our bonds are a bit steep because we're dealing with very expensive projects. If we are dealing with a 3 billion project, then we will need a bond of between 50 and 100 million. And it's not easy to have that money.
Contractual issues and business issues aside, Dr. Stole, let's go back to the project, the Mkhondvo-Ngwavuma water augmentation program. When history looks back at it 20 years or 30 from now, what do you hope it'll say about your leadership, EWADE's leadership, and national unity, and most importantly, the kind of legacy that it will leave for the Kingdom of Eswatini, particularly the Mpangeni Dam?
Well, starting with myself, I would say I'm the kind of a person that wants to be remembered as somebody that contributed to the development of the people, not to the development of the infrastructure itself.
Right.
I believe in people, not in things. I believe if we develop our people will be able to do even greater things. So I believe if I could be remembered as somebody that grew the people through the commercial irrigated agriculture in the country, that would give me a smile right at my very old age, or maybe in my grave at some point. When it comes to EWADE, which is basically the key thing, EWADE is the key instrument for development in the country. this project, I believe, will see SWADE attaining the legacy of being the topmost parastatal in the agriculture transformation sector in the country. I believe everybody will remember EWADE as the transformer of the agriculture sector in the country, including the water itself, because we are also doing water infrastructure development. The country, I believe the whole world, when looking at Eswatini, will always see Eswatini as a country that's quite critical about its people. The focus on the people brought about by this project tells exactly that story, that the country cares about its people. Right. And going forward, I believe the world will remember to help Eswatini to develop its people, because at the heart of the country is the people.
Right, fair enough. Thank you very much, Dr. Sithole. Opportunities await, and so does economic growth. That was Dr. Samson Sithole, CEO of EWADE, filling us in on the multi-billion Malangeni project that is the Mkhondvo-Ngwavuma Water Augmentation Program. For now, we'll catch a break. The show continues immediately after this.